It's time to start feeding our bees to get them up to winter weight. So to do that, we have to mix up 2-to-1 mix. I'm going to put this video together backwards. First, I'm going to demonstrate how I physically mix up the 2-to-1 mix. Then I will tell you how much sugar to actual water you need to mix up 125-pound bag of sugar. And then I will get into the details of the math. I just want to do it this way because there may be some folks out there that already have the math worked out and they're really just here to get some advice and see how I mix up the simple syrup and, the easiest way that I've come up with to do it. Let's get to it. So our water is all boiled up here. Make sure you have something, to protect your hands. Steam burns are pretty nasty. So what I like to do is, instead of putting the sugar in the bucket, I like to put the water in first. It just, it mixes way easier when you do it that way. And then when I take my sugar, I don't put the whole bag in. I do like maybe half, a little less than half, because it's hard to mix when you put the whole 25-pound bags in at one time. So you put like half the bag in. Just get all the chunks out of there. Put the rest of the sugar in. And you mix it up the rest of the way. You'll know it's mixed pretty good when there's just no resistance left on the bottom. I don't like putting the sugar in the pot that I'm going to be heating the water up in, just because I'm afraid that if there's any residual sugar left over on the sides of the pot, it may caramelize. And then the reason I have the extra bucket, I always have one extra bucket for the amount of buckets that I'm mixing up, is that I can transfer it back and forth. And then that kind of just breaks up the last little bits that you might have missed. See, there's some blobs in there. And then when I go ahead and transfer it back, all that turbulence will break up that blob of sugar. There you go. You could transfer that back and forth as many times as you like. And then I just go ahead and put the cover on. I don't usually mix syrup up on the day that I'm going to use it. I try to do it the day before, just to give it that little extra time to dissolve any granulars that may be left over. You're not going to get them all. It's going to be a little granular. 2-to-1 is pretty thick. So that's it. That's mixing up 2-to-1. I'm going to feed these bees tomorrow using hive top feeders. I'm not going to include that in this video. It's a pretty simple task. I will film it and maybe make a video, and then if you are interested in seeing that, I'll put that as an end card of this video. So now let's get to all of the math and all the details. So let's get into the math. But first, I will give the answer up front in case you don't want to sit through all those over-explained formulas. For every 25-pound bag of sugar, you're going to need 1.5 gallons of water. In my case, I'm using a 2-quart water pitcher, so 3 of these. Now I'm going to think back a few years when I was in grammar school, and teach would always say, you have to show your work. So let's show the work. And we are not doing any of that new math nonsense that I hear so much about. We're doing old school, barbaric math. 1 gallon of water weighs 8.34 pounds. We need half the water weight of the 25 pounds of sugar. So we need 12.5 pounds of water. Our total water weight divided by the weight of 1 gallon gives us 1.499 gallons. We can round up to 1.5. For every 25 pounds of sugar, you're going to need 1.5 gallons of water. There we have it. That's how you mix your 2-to-1 mix. I'm, of course, not looking to insult anyone. I'm sure we are all capable of figuring this math out ourselves. But I know that math can be a pain in the ass. So if it came down to me figuring out math or someone doing it for me, I would certainly choose the latter myself as well. So I hope this video was very helpful, and I also hope to see you all in the next videos. Thanks.